Let's be honest for a second. If you've looked at the Praxis School Counselor exam and thought, cool, so I'm supposed to know literally everything about counseling now, you're not alone. And here's the frustrating part. Most people don't fail this exam because they don't care or because they're not good future counselors. They struggle because they try to memorize everything instead of understanding what Praxis is actually testing. Yes, you need to know the major theories of human development, but the exam doesn't stop there. It's asking, can you think like a school counselor? And once you see that pattern, the exam gets a whole lot more manageable. Welcome to the Praxis Test Prep channel. I'm Olivia, a test prep expert with Study.com. Today, I'm breaking down the 5 core skills that actually show up again and again on the Praxis School Counselor exam, and how you can recognize them no matter how the question is dressed up. Stick with me, because if you understand these 5 skills, you stop studying randomly and start studying strategically. Here's the first big truth. Praxis isn't just about reciting theories like you're auditioning for Jeopardy! Yes, you need to know the major counseling theories, but you also need to be able to apply them to real, messy, imperfect school scenarios. You're being asked, a student is experiencing anxiety and feels unheard. What approach best supports autonomy, empathy, and self-exploration? That's theory in action. On this exam, theories show up embedded inside situations involving students, families, teachers, or school systems. Your job isn't to name the theory. Your job is to recognize the thinking behind it. When a question focuses on validating feelings, building rapport, and empowering students, that's humanistic thinking. When the focus is on identifying distorted thoughts and changing behaviors, you're in cognitive behavioral territory. When development and age-appropriate expectations matter, developmental theory is driving the bus. If you're studying theories in isolation, this is where things feel overwhelming. But if you practice asking yourself, what is the counselor trying to accomplish here? The answer usually becomes much clearer. And once you've got that, you're ready for the next core skill. Because theory alone isn't enough. If there's one area Praxis absolutely loves, it's ethics. And not the easy kind, not the obviously report abuse kind. The uncomfortable, gray area, stomach-tightening kind. The exam wants to know if you can make ethical decisions when there's no perfect option, only the most responsible one. You'll see questions where confidentiality bumps into safety, where parents want information a student doesn't want shared, where administrators push for action that doesn't quite align with ethical guidelines. Praxis isn't asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to prioritize student welfare, follow professional standards, and think through consequences. In most ethical scenarios, the correct answer protects students first, follows established ethical codes, and involves appropriate consultation rather than acting alone. Knee-jerk reactions and extreme responses tend to be red flags. If an answer sounds dramatic, punitive, or rushed, it's probably not the best choice. School counseling ethics are about thoughtful balance, not power moves. And here's the key transition to remember. Ethics don't exist in a vacuum. They show up while you're doing actual counselor work, which brings us to the third core skill, the skill that surprises a lot of test takers: data. Yes, you're a counselor. No, you don't get to ignore numbers. Praxis expects you to understand how data supports decision-making in school counseling programs. That includes identifying student needs, evaluating interventions, and advocating for services. But before your eyes start switching, take a breath. This is not a statistics exam. You're not crunching formulas. You're interpreting information. You might see attendance trends, behavioral referrals, achievement gaps, or survey results. The question won't be, calculate the standard deviation. It'll be, what should the counselor do with this information? The right answers usually involve using data to identify needs, adjust programs, collaborate with stakeholders, or advocate for change. Data isn't about labeling students. It's about improving support systems. If an answer ignores the data entirely or jumps to conclusions without evidence, that's a red flag. Praxis wants to see that you respect data as a tool, not a weapon. And once you understand how counselors use information responsibly, the exam shifts focus to how counselors interact with others in the school environment. Here's a big mindset shift. The Praxis School Counselor exam is not testing whether you can work alone. It's testing whether you know you shouldn't. School counselors operate inside systems. That means collaborating with teachers, administrators, parents, mental health professionals, and community resources. Many exam questions revolve around situations where a counselor notices a concern but doesn't immediately act solo. Instead, the counselor consults, coordinates, or communicates appropriately. If a student is struggling academically, the counselor doesn't just provide therapy and call it a day. They collaborate with teachers. If there's a behavioral issue, they work with administrators and families. If a concern is beyond the school's scope, they refer out. Praxis loves answers that reflect teamwork, clear communication, and role clarity. Answers that involve acting independently without consulting anyone tend to miss the mark. Think of it this way. The exam wants to know that you understand your role, not as the lone hero, but as a professional embedded in a larger support network. And that naturally leads into the fifth and final core skill, which ties everything together. At its heart, school counseling is about helping students grow, not just emotionally, but holistically. Praxis consistently tests whether you understand the counselor's role in supporting academic success, career development, and social-emotional growth across grade levels. You'll see scenarios involving course planning, post-secondary readiness, career exploration, social skills, emotional regulation, and transitions between school levels. The exam wants you to think developmentally. What makes sense for an elementary student won't look the same for a high school senior. Effective counselors meet students where they are and help them move forward realistically. Answers that push adult-level expectations onto young students or ignore developmental readiness tend to be incorrect. The best answers support growth, skill building, and informed decision-making over time. This is also where advocacy often shows up, ensuring students have equitable access to opportunities and support. Now, here's the most important part. Understanding the exam is only helpful if you use that understanding. You now know that the Praxis School Counselor exam isn't about memorizing every theory or regulation. It's about thinking like a school counselor. So your next step is simple but powerful. Start prepping and filter every practice question through these 5 core skills. Ask yourself what the counselor's role really is in each scenario, what ethical priority is at play, and how student development is being supported. Create a study plan that focuses on application, not cramming. And when you feel stuck, remind yourself that this exam isn't trying to trick you. It's checking whether you're ready to do the work you've already chosen. Take what you learned today, apply it intentionally, and walk into the Praxis School Counselor exam ready to think clearly, ethically, and confidently. You're preparing for more than a test. You're preparing for the role. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What skill do you need to brush up on? Thanks for watching and good luck on your Praxis journey. You can do this.